What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this evening. It is 6:54 p.m. Central Standard Time where I currently am at. I usually do the S&P 500 chart first, but I've been noticing a lot of interesting price action on Bitcoin that I really want to address with you all just first and foremost. So, zooming out on the daily here for Bitcoin, we have this ascending broadening wedge pattern. Looks like it wants to break down to the downside. Okay. We have a couple of discerning things here. We have money flow going to the downside, but as you can see on the daily, we are trying to pinch. Okay, so we could be a day or two away from a pump. I'll be completely honest with you on that. Now, notice that we do have a lower wave low, so it's not going to be something of significance in my opinion. I like to look for trigger waves essentially. Things like this with divergences to get really nice entry points for long positions, swing long positions. Right now we're kind of like on the downside end of a bullish move from a daily standpoint. But I want to zoom in on the 4 hour here. We do have some interesting developments. So I like to look at the volume weighted average price, which is this yellow line. Okay, so usually when it kind of waves out and it starts trying to curl and crosses the zero line to the upside, that's where we get those buy signal dots. Okay, as you can tell right here, we've got a cross, we got a dot. Okay, so that's basically the situation that we're the situation that we're in currently with that. But there's a couple things that are surprising me at this time. So we had a disgusting dump. Uh, Jerome Powell had a speech. Usually the speeches, we have insane volatility, and we did. We had a dump to the downside. Apparently, they want to raise interest rates or continue raising interest rates. That was previously, unanticipated and such like that. To be honest, I thought we were going to be dumping more. But I zoomed out here. I did have this support line or at around 22,067 and change, right? And I noticed on the 4 hour we did have a candle close here, so we do have kind of like some form of support. Uh, well, a previous resistance, right? So when price dumped ultimately, we had a 4 hour candle close rejection, and then we came back and then back tested at a support and then just shot to the upside. Basically a W pattern breakout to the upside, and then we went parabolic, and that's all she wrote, right? Now, why do I bring that up? Well, because here, as you can see, this mega dump where the whales were just purposely trying to freak the market out, which they successfully did, in my opinion. You can see that there was some big whales that had some buy signals, or I'm sorry, limit orders right here, and it stabilized the market. And since then, we've been getting wicks there. All right, so yes, we did kind of lose this upward slanting line as support, but if you zoom in, and let me turn off everything but the Bollinger Bands, okay, so you can see it. Let me turn off volume as well. Why not? Okay, so the Bollinger Bands are tightening on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the candles just so you can see just the Bollinger Bands here. So the Bollinger Bands are very, very tight. Okay, that usually leads to a significant move either to the upside or to the downside. All right, so far so good. Price has actually consolidated at 22K roughly, and a little above that. And so far it's just kind of bouncing in this particular zone. I do believe, from my perspective, that we will be bouncing within this zone up until we see a reaction here. Essentially at this downward sloping red line. We're either going to get rejected from it or we're going to break above it. That's just kind of my mentality at this point. I usually like to wait for these actions to play out before I do anything of significance. And to be honest, this could be one big fake out. Why do I say that? Well, we have a potential trigger wave, guys. We have a potential trigger wave here. All right, so this isn't confirmed by no means, but the reason I have some confidence in it is because we're getting it on the 2 hour. Now, the 2 hour isn't as clean. This wave is lower than the previous wave right here. It's lower than this particular wave right here. So, uh, but ultimately, we are getting some form of divergence here on the 2 hour. And also here, it's a little bit cleaner on the 4 hour, frankly. But what is bullish divergence? Bullish divergence just means that we had uh, price action highs, and then we had currently price action lows, and then vice versa on the momentum oscillators, which is we had price action low, and then we have a price action right here, high. Okay, I'm sorry, not price action high, low. We have momentum lows, and then we have a new momentum high. Okay, and then vice versa with price. We have price action highs and we have price action lows. So, just right here. Okay, we kind of have that going on a little bit. It's not confirmed on the 4 hour, but guess what? It's confirming on the 2 hour. We still have an hour to confirm, but it has been confirmed on the 1 hour here. So we do have that going for us. So that's interesting. So momentum was to the downside, but money flow, to be honest, is actually weaker than the previous. Ultimately, this money flow is still pointing to the downside. My thesis is still the same. I spoke about it in the last video that, we did have money flow essentially kind of just dissipating and then kind of winning to the upside. Obviously, the Jerome Powell meeting was of significant news to the market, and people rightfully so got freaked out. That's understandable. But I like charts and not people's words. I really don't, because it's just not, in my opinion, feasible. Yeah, they could change their opinion like on a whim overnight, depending on what they see. So I don't really. I mean, obviously the day is super volatile. I stopped trading Jerome Powell days because the price swings are ridiculous. It's just nerve-wracking. It's more so luck than skill. Even now, like at this point, um, I do feel that the market is kind of like figuring things out. We are getting more of a solid base in my opinion. The 22K mark is a psychological level. Like every whole number, round number, basically is some form of resistance or support. Um, so far, we did lose 22.3. I'm not very jazzed about that. I'm not jazzed about that. The only reason I do feel somewhat confident that we are going to see at least price action here, we kind of regain these stagnant levels, uh, is because of this potential divergence that might pop up within the next couple hours, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it looks rather similar to this price action right here, because we had a divergence here, we've got a divergence right here. If this confirms, we could have another divergence similar to this, waning money flow, heading to the upside, waning negative money flow to the upside here. So that's why. And also we had a little hill right here and a little hill right here. So it looks really similar. Like this, you could argue that this is like fractal kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, yes, we are below key levels, but it happened here as well, in the S&P 500 chart. It happened here as well, where yeah, like on significant time frames, we did break below this significant daily support, but we popped back up to the upside. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to keep it more so predominantly on Bitcoin today because today was a significant move, and this channel is about crypto. I like to talk about the S&P 500 chart, but today was pretty telling of the future, in my opinion. So we are close to a resolution here. Okay, if we still are maintaining below 22.3K and ultimately we do get a rejection off of this red line, and we're starting to see, bearish divergences. Let's say, for example, this pumps to the upside, and then, we end up getting like one of these bad boys right here. We get like a red dot, bearish divergence. Then I would just, abandon ship and, just lick my wounds and stuff like that, and then just wait for lower prices to, kind of develop in order, for me to dollar cost average into, Bitcoin. Um, but that hasn't happened yet. Like I had said prior, the Bollinger Bands are super duper duper tight right now. I do want to see ultimately, I do want to see the resolution to this. I do feel like candle closes above, hold on, let me turn on that magnet. All right, candle closes above 22,534 would be significant. Let me turn that red here. Okay. And I would argue that candle closes below here would be significant, which is at 22,118. Basically, a candle close below the lowest 4-hour. So I don't want it to get too confusing, so I'm going to delete these. But basically, the 4-hour candle closes from peaks to valleys. Okay, that's kind of where I'm hoping to see, some resolution, whether it's the upside or to the downside. Today was so freaking choppy. I saw this wick right here, and I thought to myself, wow, the bulls are going to do it. And they were able to close the candle here, this 4-hour candle right above, but then the following candle just bearish engulfing. And since then, we've just been trying to, establish some form of support here at 22K. So that's realistically the situation. That's the situation right now. On the 4-hour, I mean, you could make the argument that this is like a bullish hammer candle. So that's something to keep in mind. That's cool. How these get nullified. You have a 4-hour candle close below the wick of basically at 21.9315. If you see a 4-hour candle close below basically 22K, then you are most likely, in my opinion, let me do a measured move here. Now that we know that this area right here is in fact the local top of this move. Okay. We go to the bottom of the beginning of the pattern. Okay. Then you could do a trend line and essentially get the candle close bottom and the candle close top, which is roughly right around here. Okay. And let me turn off the extension there. Okay, and then move it to the point of breakout. All right, so if this is in fact, let me turn it into a different color, sorry. If this is in fact a break to the downside, and I could tell you how we can confirm that. It measures so well with 18.5, 18 flat, this particular zone here. And we could potentially in the future test as low as 18.5. So don't feel like, oh my god, I'm missing the trade. I haven't opened up a short yet. This is bull, this move has the potential of going lower to like 20%. Okay, so excuse me, you're not late at all. If anything, you should do your due diligence and wait for things to play out before you make sudden decisions. But ultimately, what I'm looking at here on Market Liberator Indicator is I want to see, can the bulls regain the 9? Can we see anything in regards to the 21 getting retaken as support within the coming days? I like to look at the 37-minute time frame. So on the 37-minute time frame, we do have support essentially. This wick at 21.9. So any candle closes below would be a break of structure and essentially insinuate potential lower highs to then go to lower lows, which we're kind of having here. But yeah, the 21 exponential moving average here is getting tested at this time. We did have a candle close above, so that theory of moving to the upside, it makes a lot of sense still. It was nasty. I do got to admit, it was a nice little gnarly fake out this afternoon. Seeing this divergence right here on the 37 was was sad, but you know, that's just the reality of things, pretty much. I do, in bearish trends, the bearish signals are strong. All right. In bullish trends, this is the bearish trend signal. All right. And this is the bullish signal, right? So yeah, if we're like going, so obviously we're still in a bear move, okay? We're still in a bear move. So bear signals have more onus than say bull moves, okay? Until proven otherwise. Now, what will nullify that? A divergence, a bullish divergence on significant time frames would nullify that. So if I were to see something like this, for example, I would feel a little bit, you know, different about the circumstances. In this case, we're bumping up against resistance, and yeah, once that was confirmed, we had let me zoom in here. You know, we got wick highs, right? Then we got wick lows right here, and then we had a lower high, and then to really confirm it, we had a lower low, and then the bears started well, the whales started manipulating the market to their favor, and it just sped the whole dump process faster. And since then, yeah, we've just been going sideways and down. But ultimately, keep in mind this is a slow-moving type of strategy. Each candle is 4 hours of price action. Okay, so it's going to take a while to see anything of significance come from this. But until I see essentially a candle close below 22K, I can't be I'm so sorry. I've been saying 22K, right? Yeah, I meant 21.9. Yeah, because this is you could argue that this is a 4-hour bullish hammer. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that. But ultimately, turning off everything. Okay, except Bollinger Bands. I do expect price to bounce within this area and then find a resolution at some point. It's unfortunate. It is below this upward trend line, so that sucks. That really does suck. I was hoping that it would hold, but you know, the bears, the whales, everyone and their mother saw this pattern, right? So that's the thing about patterns is they're not always like 100% concrete. They're not always going to work out. I mean, this is crypto. It's highly volatile, so it can get very messy. Even a confirmed break to the downside, we had a 22K support bounce, you know, and we're basically damn near back at the levels. Literally, I bought here. I was buying. Hold on, I was buying NFTs here. I was buying spot crypto here. You know, I was, you know, feeling pretty baller. Not gonna lie, landing that. But you know, we're literally back at those levels right now. So I'm basically at break-even point. But I don't intend to sell those things. Literally, with I see NFTs as very long-term plays, and I see spot Bitcoin as a long-term play. You know, there's only 21 million of those suckers, so I don't mind a 5% dump. You know what I mean? Like, come back to me in a month or whatever. But yeah, at this time, in terms of just like intraday weather reporting, if you will, we have some support here that we can hang our hat on at 22K flat. And so far, the way that the momentum waves are showing, we could see some divergence play out probably tonight, maybe. It really depends on what the Asian markets and what the European markets want to do here at this point. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I've been talking Bitcoin a lot today. I think I covered pretty much everything. I will say this to end it. This descending channel here is, given that it's been respected more so than this particular pattern right here, I would expect um, a reaction at some point, whether if it's right here, a dump like that, okay, or if it's actually we're going to break above it and then kind of continue moving forward within this larger descending broadening wedge pattern. So that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you want me to cover any particular coins. I'm totally down to do that. Just DM me or just put it in the description below. But yeah, take care. Bye bye.